Alright, welcome back. This is War 9, and this is going to be a little bit backwards because I forgot at the start of War. So the war's finished here, but these are the bans that Salty had against us. They banned Apaco, Quake, and Ghost, and as you can see here, we did win this war. But I'll do better next war doing that first rather than at the end. So I'm starting out on Path 9. I'm splitting it with my BG mate DNR. He took the first fight, and I'm going to be taking this WeaponX here. So the node is Hazard Shift, Incinerate, Poison, and obviously I can't hit him in Incinerate phase, so I'm going to use this phase to build up my I don't know, Nimrod charges, whatever you want to call them. I have no idea what they're called. I just know I need 10 of them, and now that I've gotten into Poison, I want to get him to a special 1 and get him to throw it. But this WeaponX decided to be a little bit of an asshole, and he doesn't want to throw his special to trigger his Berserk. So now that he has, it's back into Incinerate, and at this point I'm just going to send it because I know that my special 2 is going to kill him anyway, so I'm not worried about any Incinerates I get on me. And down he goes. Super fast, super easy. And then moving into Section 2, I'm going to be on Path 2. I'm going to be taking this Rintrah with S39, and then that Domino, the rematch with Nimrod again. So the way Rintrah works is if you actually hit him, he puts a neutralize on you, and even though Spidey can't get buffs, if you have a neutralize on you and you try to pause your debuffs, it prevents you from doing that. And the reason Rintrah is placed here in the first place is when you have that neutralize on you, the node itself is going to place placebos on you when you're close to him. So essentially, the thought process is prevent the placebos and get a bunch of power gain, right? But right there, I accidentally hit him, and I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you rewind, my buffs still got paused even though I had the neutralize on him, because the node itself tried placing a placebo, and even though the neutralize was on me, the placebo still placed and paused my debuffs for me, which should not be happening. It's clearly a bug of some sort, and it defeats the whole purpose of placing Rintrah over here in the first place if that's how the interaction works with the node, because the whole thing is to have the neutralize on you fighting him normal. The node goes to place a bunch of these buffs, and he just gets a bunch of power and builds his mystical charges, and it just makes for a pain in the ass of a fight. But that's clearly not happening. So going forward, I'm pretty sure you could probably fight Rintrah normally here, because the neutralize clearly isn't stopping the placebos from applying like it should be. And next up here, I have this lovely Domino. Now, the last time I took her here with Nimrod, she threw a special while I was blocking, and I lost like half health just from the shocks alone. That's not going to happen this time. It's going to be a much cleaner fight. Although she did have opportunities to throw her special in this one, she chose not to, which I'm absolutely fine with. Although it wouldn't have really been too big of a deal because one SP2 kills her, and I'm not taking another fight with Nimrod after this, so it wouldn't have cost me pots or anything. And then last up, I have 2 fights in S3. I have this Sassy on 48, and then I have Sorcerer on 54, which I've never taken Sorcerer on 54 before, but these 2 fights are gonna go a little silly. So what I should have done here to start off this fight was land a heavy and put an exhaustion on him, and not really sure why I didn't, but he got to build 2 of his rage stacks because I realized that I hadn't put the exhaustion on him yet, and I was like, what am I doing? I gotta get this on this guy. So now that I have the exhaustion on him, it's going to prevent him from building any more of his stacks, so no wrath, no nothing. Although now that he's built 2 of them, he's still going to end up getting regen near the end of the fight. But that's fine because I normally run Max Despair with Spidey anyway, just to account for anything like that. And this fight's not going to be nearly as efficient as I have been in the past with it. Normally it's probably anywhere from a 60 to 90 second fight, and this one's going to take me about 2 minutes, and that's just because the AI is definitely being a little weird, or at least I felt like he was in this fight. So I was just being extra cautious about when I was running in to hit him and stuff like that, just because of the AI behavior that I was noticing. And here he gets his regen. Just trying to bait the special out. Now normally I would be pushing him over a bar of power with normal hits and then baiting a special and then hitting his block to build my ruptures up and then pushing him over again. But the AI didn't really want to play into that. So I just kind of spent the whole time hitting his block to take him down. It ends up being about 1 minute and 50 seconds or so. And then last up is Sorcerer. So I've never actually taken Sorcerer here before. And I'm going to end up running into some issues at the start of the fight, because I find that when she comes dashing in, it's a much shorter window for me to actually trigger decks and pause my debuffs. And I know that I need to have 2 withers on her in order to stop her power. And so you got to use a power start 1, and I wanted to make sure that I paused my first wither prior to starting to hit her. And she ends up being like incredibly aggressive in this one. So I end up triggering the decks there. Now I put an exhaustion on her to try and help control the power at the start of the fight, and now I want to build up to my special 2. I launch that. I have 2 withers on her now, but now I need to pause again, and she's kind of being a little wonky. She throws the special. I have the glancing on, so I just got to wait this out. And she wants to be very, very aggressive, and I really didn't like the spacing to pause, so I was kind of having some trouble with that. But so see, now my first wither is almost ready to drop off, and I really don't want to let that drop off. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving myself an opportunity to pause. And I felt like overall it was kind of weird AI again with this fight. It might have just been because I've never done it before and I don't normally fight Sorcerer too often. I'm not really sure, but all in all, the fight still ended up going pretty smooth, and she goes down very, very easily. So we do end up winning this one, 150-2 to 150-7. BG2 had been on a streak of 7 donuts in a row, and unfortunately they lost that streak this war. They died once and we died once in BG1. But 3 wars left in the season. I'm pretty excited for the season to wrap up and to get into some off-season break. But good luck to Salty for the rest of their season, and thank you for watching.